Before we get going on this Thomas Impossible video, I'm going to pick up on something I showed in a previous video not that long ago, where I showed very damaged and soiled Hot Wheels cars which had been pegged up on the pegs after being in one of those dump bins where it seems half the fun is roughing up all the Hot Wheels stock. I've had someone say to me that this stock would be set at a reduced price on the computer, so when you go through the checkouts it's going to scan at a much lower price. There was one scene that I left out of that original video that proves these Hot Wheels were set at the maximum price. I didn't put this scene into the video because I was fearful it was going to identify the retailer. I'm showing this now because it proves that this damaged soiled stock was being sold at the full price, and that is the full price in Australia. Considering the damage that was done to the stock, it has zero value to a Hot Wheels collector. If it was sold as damaged and soiled stock, say at 50 cents a car, hey, I think that would be a fantastic bargain. But being sold at $2 a car for stuff that's so banged around, I think that's wrong on multiple levels. Maybe I'm seeing this all wrong. Maybe this is how you do retailing in 2023. It's the brave new world of slap anything on the pegs. Anyway, onwards to Erina Fair for some fantastic Thomas gold. I'm at TOYMATE at Erina Fair. A little bit of a drive from where I live in Sydney, but a good drive to come up here and see what's going on, because TOYMATE always seems to have something special. The Thomas area is here. It looks like it's still just on one side. The other side has turned into books. It was like that the last time I was here. And sometimes when I look here, okay, I can see something straight away that I like. These are very hard to find. I've only seen them in Big W. Whatever it is, it's a Pirate Thomas thing. Thomas All Engines Go. Just having a very quick look here. Oh my fr... Okay, finally found one. I finally found the new Thomas Wooden Railway Thomas. First time I've seen them in store. And there's another one here as well. I'll be grabbing both of these. Wow. I can't believe it's taken this long to find Thomas gold. Warning, this video is made for a general audience. It may contain adult themes, consumer affairs advice, historical information, retail analysis, and weird funny bits. I need to say all this here because the YouTube systems are totally dumbass. I didn't realise you can actually open these up, slide them open, take a look at the model. Very nice looking, I tell you. I'll just close the one up and I'll just have a sneak peek at the other one. Oh, a bit dodgy there. This one looks very nice as well. Wow, they're extremely impressive. First time I've seen one in real life. Seen plenty of them online. I'm probably the last person in the world to find these in store. That's the price there. That's a fantastic price. Remember, I live in Australia where it's probably a little bit cheaper overseas. On both of these Thomases, I can see there's been a hook applied to the back and there's some adhesive stuck onto the packaging there. Quite curious. Let me show you the other one as well, because they were hooked up on pegs. This one's lost its hook altogether and that's what's left behind. I'm just so happy I finally found this very elusive Thomas. Near impossible to find. Crikeys, what a wonderful day. I've just found this. It's like a variation of Sandy the Stupid Rail Flipper. I've got no idea what that is there, and from looking at the packaging here, is it explained to me what this Sandy is doing or exactly how it falls into the storyline? Nope. Anyway, it's different and I'll get it. I did have a close look. Maybe it's like a Dr. Sandy, but then again it could be a welding Sandy. I've really got no idea. While I'm here, I'll just very quickly talk about the Thomas motorised All Engines Go. I believe they've solved the problems with the line work going on. I have not seen a line work error version for some months now. Of all the new stock that's been coming into many stores, I'm noticing the Thomases are done really well. Phew, finally we got that problem solved, but crikeys, it took a long time to get there. I'll just go wide here and you can see what's on the shelves. There's actually a lot of new stock here. There's a lot of the new Thomas Wooden Railway stuff here, which is very exciting for me to see because it's the first time I've seen it in store. And yeah, you can see what's here. If I just zip the camera around like this, you'll get the other view, which looks like that there. This looks to be quite an interesting motorised playset, Thomas motorised playset. It's got like a seesaw activity going on there. Hopefully it's not too much of a one-trick pony. The Thomas looks like this. Yeah, I might be getting this. Like crystals on it. It looks like Superman crystals is what I call it. Let me just turn the box around with an edit, of course. That's how it presents on the back of box. Looks quite interesting. In fact, it looks a little bit exciting. I can't get too excited here, else I'll get flagged off the site. And that's the most important panel to look at to understand exactly if it's worth getting or not. Hidden in the dark shelves is a Thomas 3-pack, which is actually very hard to find. These, when they were in store, they went very quickly. I could just see the front of this and I knew exactly what it was. It's the Techno Thomas. I'm calling it the Techno Thomas with the rubber ducky. Very popular 3-pack Thomas, and it's just unusual. And often when a Thomas 3-pack's unusual, it's a winner. I'll put this back and someone else can enjoy that Thomas, I'm sure. I can see for $99, it's Brendam Docks. It's basically a Cranky and Bulstrode set in a sense, and a little bit of something else. If I pull this out, we'll see the back of the packaging here. Looks very impressive, mind you. I think it's a bit pricey for what you're getting, but then again, this is premium toy train stuff. Absolute premium stuff, and if I could get it back on the shelf, I'd be a lot happier. On the end of the box is a teaser if you start buying this stuff up, but crikey, there'd be hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of Thomas gear there. Mind you, it does look awesome. This Thomas All Engines Go 5-pack, it's probably one of the best value 5-packs you're ever going to get. $15 in Australia, and you also get the Gold Thomas Extreme Trains. Did a video about the whole set, pointing out it was great value. I'm calling it like a lost leader. It's something to basically get you in, and it's a bit more like a fool's gold Thomas, that one. It's not like the beautiful 2014 really gold Thomas they did, which had the NAFTA magnets. Remember the good old days. It's a fantastic 5-pack, and I'm really surprised that there's still so many here considering the great price of $15. I do laugh because directly underneath this is a bit of a reminder of the horror days. This is $20. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't touch this even if it was free. Cough, cough, cough. Yeah, Metal Engine was the last variation of that style of Thomas. It went on Trackmaster Track, but it just was naffed. It was really naffed. It was probably, you know, maybe as bad as you can get, especially with the larger engines in that variation. My crikey, but sometimes you go through a lot of pain until things get a lot better. I can see Knapford Station and Thomas Wooden Railway here for $159. I think it's a great price. This is absolute premium toy. Nice big box, look at that. Well, I'll take a look at the back of this, why not? Because I haven't got enough money to afford it. Yeah, it looks great. That's what you get in that set. Oh, that's right, it's got those a little bit strange Annie and Clarabells in this one. Annie and Clarabelle are a bit like toasters because the things you put in the top, it's like bread and they're the toasters, and it's a bit strange, but sometimes strange is nice. It's a very, very nice set. Remember, it's premium toy, and at that price there, I would actually struggle to get that back on YouTube these days, even if I reviewed this to my best ability. That's what it's like these days. Looks impressive in store with that sort of wood-looking cardboard. It does catch your eye versus the rest of the stock. Next to it's what I'm classifying as a starter set. It's basically $90. You can call it $89 if you want to. Call it whatever you want. I might grab one of these just because I'm a bit of a Thomas collector, maybe. And yeah, it is different to, let's say, the starter set that used to get round a couple of years back now, like before Thomas Wood, back when it was the old classic Thomas Wooden Railway. But we're sort of gone back to classic, I hope. I hope we can call this classic Thomas Wooden Railway. Well, it looks like basically $180 or $179, blah, blah. There is this Tidmouth Sheds. It looks very nice. You get a Perthy in there. Looks very impressive indeed. It's a 5-berth Tidmouth Sheds, and there's ways to go off in 5 directions here. It's a massive box. I mean, look at this. I just want to take a look at the back of the box without dropping it and destroying stock in store, or else I'll be ejected from store immediately. Okay, let's take a look at this. Looks pretty good to me. I'm giving this a thumbs up, and I'm a very hard marker. Looks mighty impressive. Wow, if you're a little person and you got this under your Christmas tree or for your birthday present, like, wow, you'd be excited. But the pain we went through to get to the good stuff was incredible. The way we went through Thomas Wood and how bad that was. Oops, am I going to have a crash here? I just want to show the end of the box because it shows you an idea of what you can do. Okay, there's 2 destinations there, a lot of track parts and a whole bunch of engines. Looks very cool. I keep looking at the price there. I can't get it, I'm sorry YouTube. The chances of getting my money back by looking at that on the YouTube site these days, it'd be very risky business. The TOYMATE here in the Thomas area is well stocked of Thomas stock. The other shops at Erina Fair and down at Hornsby where I live, the Thomas area has gone into like a vacuum mode after Christmas. Like the stock never came in after Christmas. Mind you, it didn't seem to sell as hard and fast as I've seen in previous years, or maybe should I say the supply chain is fixed up. Hey, I'm seeing this set here. That's a new one in my mind. It's got Skiff and Thomas. Why would you bother with Skiff? Let's not go there. Let's take a look at the back to see if it's worthwhile getting, hey? The back of the box presents nicely. It's a figure 8 set with an elevated section and a bridge going on. It's a very interesting looking bit of play you can have going on here. At least the bridge is looking like something you'd see on train stuff. You know, that's what's really important. And let's take a look at that panel there. Looking at that there, I think it's okay. At least the one trick pony section is, well, train-like in a sense. I'm giving it the thumbs up. My biggest query is, did we need another playset with Skiff in it? Mind you, greater minds than mine have decided that this is a good thing, and maybe it's best not to question those minds who work in amazing toy companies. I noticed this little Thomas Adventures playset's now $8. They were in retail for around about $15, $16. I think it says $16 on this ticket here. Thomas Adventures was a great little era of Thomas toys. This was a little bit like a throwback to take and play sort of ideas of little play sets that you could take to whoever's house and play with your stuff. They did connect up with other ones. I have got a whole section of these at home that I purchased back in the day. Oh, look at that. YouTube Kids on this. That's bringing back some memories. Wow, wasn't that a destructive thing for us? Wasn't that a fantastic idea, YouTube, to come along and just naffed up the whole sites, you know, and man, I could get into a rage, but we won't. We'll just sort of remember that Thomas Adventures wasn't around for very long, and I think that shocked quite a few people. It's actually a very good little era of Thomas toys. I'll just briefly talk about this push along all engines go set. It's got the Trackmaster track in a sense, but it reminded me very much of the old classic Shake Shake bridge set. When I saw the bridge section there and the two curves, but the Shake Shake bridge set had Misty Island track in that section there, which has got like a bit of a bouldering type bit of track there. I just had that vibe of the classic set Shake Shake bridge from that there. I think this looks like a fantastic set. It's almost like a little starter set, but it's not a motorized Thomas. That's just a metal push along one, which that still confuses a lot of consumers I notice in store. They just can't get their head around that some versions of Thomas just push along and others are motorized, and it all works on the same track. Again, TOYMATE has delivered. It's always an impressive store to come into to find stuff that's usually quite hard to find in many other retailers. I should say this in this video, I've got no commercial connection to TOYMATE. Maybe one day I'll meet the owners of this store. I'm sure we could have a long chat about toys. I could tell them what the online environment's like. Wow, that'd be a long discussion, wouldn't it? But most importantly, I found a Thomas that I thought I would never find in store. It was almost like Thomas Impossible, but I finally found it at the right price. Thank God for TOYMATE in Australia. I never thought I'd ever see the new Thomas Wooden Railway on my review bench. If I take a look underneath the box of this Thomas here, it is licensed to 2021, and I find it in store in 2023. I am going to do a dedicated review about this toy, but the very tricky thing for me is I'm so late in the day in getting one of these Thomases, what else is there left to say? A big problem for me is I've watched so many reviews about this toy, I could start parroting what other people say, but seeing 2021 on the back of the box has triggered my memory in the strangest way. Ooh, okay, Thomas is free. This is a spectacular Thomas the Tank no matter what angle I look at it, and I think when I tell my story we're going to go backwards in time, take a look at what came before this, and ask why did it take so long to get to something that looks so grand. Remember, this Thomas Wooden Railway is licensed to 2021. We can now count rivets, we can also hold it in our hands and say to our boyfriends or girlfriends or both that we've got the best little wooden toy train ever put on planet Earth. But as humans we have fairly short memories, and I remember back not that long ago, back to a glorious year of 2011, there was something called Chuggington Wood. Why did it take so long for Thomas to look so good? Just looking back through the previous incarnations of this small Thomas Wooden Railway toy, and I've got to ask myself, why was there all this radical change going on in what was over a fairly short period of time? A lot of what was going on made no sense, and I've got to ask myself, why was it going on? I've looked over Thomas and Friends toys for many years on YouTube doing reviews. Can't do those anymore, mumsies and dadsies. We live in very different times, sadly. But one constant that I notice is change. And initially I didn't think much about things changing every now and then, track formats changing, the trains having to change with the track format. But then I asked myself, why is there change? And with the Thomas Wooden Railway change going through the contortions that we saw, that really has you asking the question, why was this going on? What was the purpose of shaking out what was already an established premium toy, making it dumb, making it cheap, making it to a track system that didn't conform to anything else? Why was this being done? Yet we've now reversed back to something which will connect into everything else, and we've finally got a Thomas which is absolutely stunning. But why did we have to have that nightmare of going through Thomas Wood in two variations that both failed for the company who makes these toys to realise, oh my god, I think we made a mistake by trying to change what was already a classic toy. This is something that a lot of the people in the Thomas fandom do not understand, and even I'm just a person looking at these toys thinking, wow, why is the toy company almost trying to implode itself by doing this? Right from the start, when everyone saw Thomas Wood, everyone was shouting, this is bad, this is shocking, this is not going to work. Well, guess what happened? It didn't work. But maybe the only thing I can say is, from this train wreck, this incredibly big train wreck, we've got something which is completely and utterly beautiful now. But my god, did we have to go through some shocking pain to get there.
Flippin' hell! He's finally got the new Thomas Wooden Railway, which is actually the old Thomas Wooden Railway came out flippin' years ago! But no, this clown, he knows better. He's waited until it's in store. He must know that the whole world's falling apart. Nothing's coming out of China. He knows that, but he's just waited, and he's going to be the last person to show this on YouTube. And you know what? He's going to get $0 because he's the last. He's the last, you know why? Come closer, I'll tell you why he's the last. Because he knows flippin' nothing. He knows 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 nothing. 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 Nothing.